creation.
Yeah. So we were gradually coming out of Sachen Machen 6.0, Simon's beautiful creation. I think this year we decided on co-regulation as the focus of it.
I'd like to explore this idea of, okay, we have to do things on our own but not alone. And I think we both agreed that there's like, in the movement culture, but also like in society in general, like COVID also gave a boost for like individual practices.
Yeah.
And we wanted to challenge it a bit.
Yeah.
Or not just a bit, I think we challenged it a lot.
Yeah. Go for
I
it.
would be super curious how you experienced the shift of participants from when they arrived to when they left.
Yeah. I think the participants were kind of felt more nervous and closed in the beginning, and as we went through the days, I could see them opening up, but not just opening up as individuals, but opening up into connection. And I was really impressed with the kind of power and resilience and energy that was coming with that.
I also experienced like in the years before, there had been like bigger energy crash of the participants, or like that the whole group was really like fed up.
Yeah.
But this time, like, and even though we were that late in the year, like little sunshine, middle to late fall, colder temperatures at night, they were like they were really doing a good job.
Yeah.
And like not burning themselves out too.
They were still physically fresh on the last day. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
And it was beautiful to witness, like there were people with different, well, let's put it differently, like even though we just finished it yesterday, I already saw so many posts from people posting about it on Instagram, or like sending message in the group, where you really could feel what it did to them.
Yeah.
And like this shared like experience, and like somebody wrote it in their Instagram post, I think it was Katka, that, and Sasha the same, like you can't put it into words because it's so experiential.
Yeah.
You can read about connection and co-regulation, or you can listen to all the talks, the TED Talks of the world.
Yeah.
It's a different thing if you experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think what was wonderful as well is like everyone, it felt like everyone was a hero in it, like, you know, using the model of the hero's journey. It felt like everyone had a very kind of balanced journey through it, even though it was a personal journey and inside the group.
And it's nice to have those things also in mind as a like facilitator.
Yeah.
Okay, there will be struggle, and there will be like a finding process, and there will be a re-emergence.
Yes. Yes.
It was so like it was like close to 2/3 women.
Yeah.
And it was so lovely to see them also connect through physical challenges, and like when we do the roughhousing games, it's so amazing, like how they always have those realization and insights that, oh, the person I'm playing with is not as fragile as I thought.
Yeah.
And the same, like, oh, I'm not as fragile as I thought.
Yes. Yes.
And that opens up and really forms some kind of sisterhood there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like one of the ideas as a basis we explored was around settling and relaxation, and how much power can come with that. because like one of the participants kind of challenged that, could we do roughhousing without being physically stressed or physically tense about it? And we were able to show a couple of exercises, and then even playing with the same exercise in a different perspective. It was very eye-opening afterwards.
Mm-hmm. For them, like first,
Yes.
like the usual tendency of people, of us all, maybe in the beginning, is to solve things with tension,
Yes,
which might work also, but like more in the short term.
yes, yes.
And but it doesn't. It exhausts yourself pretty quickly. And they were like tiring out after 10 minutes of playing that game.
Yeah,
And when we did it a few days later with all those experiences in their body, and like with all this amazing build up you did to this, it was like we played it probably for half an hour, 45 minutes, and we ended it because it was already 4 hours that we did the session, but we didn't end it because participants were kind of tiring.
yeah. I think because I was lucky enough to get to participate in the stuff that Simon was doing, and it really changed my perspective on what it means to co-regulate, and that co-regulation is basically a shared experience, and it's not just about stress management, it's about living together and experience things together. And we had these lovely moments of non-verbal communication as groups, as little tribes going through the space, following one person's lead and connecting into that and their appreciation of the world around them. And there's something deeply primal about it. Like, I felt there's this one moment, I don't think I will ever forget it, where we'd been silently going through the woods, and we came up onto the crest of a hill, and we all just stopped to see the sun go down behind the mountains, and it felt so deeply primal. Like, it could have been something that happened 10,000 years ago or 30,000 years ago. It's a powerful example of co-regulation as this coexistence that I wouldn't have thought of before in the past when I think of co-regulation is just around the stress management. But if you're already stressed, then how out of connection are you with your environment and the people around you?
Let me just, I had the thought, I quickly check if it's, I don't know if the mic is on the bottom. Yeah, I think especially also like in our Western culture, we tend to verbalize always everything, and to let some of those like non-verbal experiences speak for themselves, like how it is to move as a group in silence through the woods.
Yeah.
And how is it to experience like a sunset together, and like not needing to verbalize it.
Yeah.
In that moment also, speaking it out, because everybody feels the same probably, like or has a shared experience.
Yeah. There's something very primal and childlike about it as well.
It also amazed me this time that like normally there comes a point where some people skip one of the sessions, and even though we said in the beginning, and you emphasized it even, like you're here free to choose to do everything, and we talked also about challenge by choice and how important rest is, and that it can be as important to say no and to say yes to an experience. Like, nobody skipped any session.
No.
And we were starting early and going late. Like we started, like the music alarm was going off at 6:40. We started at 7. We
did an hour
to 15 of morning session. We did kind of like 3 to 4 hours before lunch. And we did like an afternoon session.
Or an evening session.
Or an evening session. So like, and it didn't feel rushed.
No.
And that is what I also love about the setting. And when you really co-regulate really well as a group, you don't have to crash. Like you can smoothly transition from one thing to another without needing to retreat for kind of like charging up your social batteries, but
yeah.
it's like you just continue with the flow.
Yeah. I think one thing that you set up very nicely this time as well was there was space to witness. Like there was multiple sessions where the group would sit back and another part of the group would not necessarily perform but would experience something while we watch, and it was a really simple idea of standing up and then falling to the ground, and standing up and falling to the ground, and those of us that were watching it, I think we all felt like we could have watched it for hours. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not like we're professional dancers, but there was something deeply beautiful about it.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same, and everybody felt it also. Like there was a certain density in the air.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is meaningful somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
And we make it meaningful.
Yes. That was something that was said quite a lot when we were doing the different environment games that you were leading. Was like with really bright eyes. I remember like Katka saying it was so real.
Yeah.
And which is crazy. Like it's all real. Like, but like this.
But it can feel really more real.
Yeah.
Like the more you are able to be kind of like present and like to able to interact with the others and like the environment, and the more real it becomes.
Yeah.
And like if you and kind of like for the game he's talking about, we played a game where we build it up to like several groups fighting against resources they have in their backpack, and there's also like a leopard roaming through the forest which can like blind people, and they have to get to a certain point to get some holy water to find the eyesight again. So really complex game, but we build it up step by step to let them first like attune to the group and the environment, then split into the small groups, then discover the playing field on their own, and then introduce the leopard and hunt the leopard as a group hunt, and then in the final step just added the 3 different groups and like the fighting. But it was like already the playing field was established. And afterwards we draw maps of what happened, and that like you got those like maps are meaningful because of the things we experience at those places. And then it's not just a tree, but it's this and this happened here, so it's like filled up with memories and meaning.
And I could really understand how I had this real experience of like, you know, where this 10,000 years ago, like this is how like tribal stories are created. And that sense of the realness of it. It's not necessarily the scope, are you saving the world? No, it's are you saving the chocolate? What I really enjoyed as well this time was we had a lot more kind of stalking and sneaking games, and like even in the dark, which was a lot of fun. And again, a lot of unspoken strategy about seeing stuff and like kind of working non-verbally as a group to coordinate against other people.
Some distracted the Pumpkin King and the Pumpkin Queen, and others went there and blew at the candles, and like it was all happening without any talking.
It was like watching dogs or wolves or something.
And it's really like, I think sometimes it can be hard for people to sign up for like 5-day or 7-day retreats, because it like costs also a lot of courage to throw yourself into such an environment, and I necessarily wouldn't also recommend it for everybody at every point in their life. But it opens up something. Without and it's working, I think, highly therapeutical without needing to put it like that. or without making a big thing out of it. And
Yeah.
like, to facilitate basic human experiences.
Fundamental.
Fundamental is maybe better than
Yeah.
basic, or definitely better.
Yeah.
Which people are lacking. It kind of nourishes something that otherwise is really lost in words and rush and hectic and masquerade and
Yeah.
all this holding things together and like just letting go, and then suddenly you have a 52-year-old lawyer who puts dirt in their face and sneaks up on people in the dark, like, and not like enjoying it, and like seeing those bright eyes telling the story about like how was it to sneak up there, what experience they made in the forest where sneaking up there, learning how to stalk, being confronted with darkness, silence, and but not just like playing it, but being it. Kind of.
Yeah. And I think one of the ideas around attunement as well, and how we were connecting with each other, we played a game called like, I suppose we call it Assassin or Werewolf, where we had I put the group into a small space on the field and gave them objects to pass to each other. But then after building it up, I would pick one person to be the killer, and they would, if they touched someone, then that person would have to squat down. But they had to kill 3 people or put 3 people down before they were discovered. And in the beginning, like, people were so inattentive, and like Melly was doing it, and she did it twice, and the first time it was so easy that no one was looking, no one was paying attention, no one was watching distances. And then later it got much more difficult, so that people were they could tell almost immediately before even someone attacked, this person to kill her. And that idea of intuition, that they weren't jumping at everything. It wasn't paranoia. It was a deeper sense. It wasn't driven by fear, but it was driven by something more complete. I think that's a really important part of attunement in a group. Yeah.
And you made it even like, we even made the playing field a third of the original size.
Yeah.
Which would make it like far easier for the killer.
Yeah.
But still got more and more difficult
Yes.
for the killer.
Yes. And we just had to we had to add killers. We had to
add like some kind of blurring who maybe was in contact with whom when.
Yeah.
So like we added a lot of layers for making it more easy for the killers, but it still got harder and harder pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. And like a question I asked some of the people afterwards is like, how long could you keep a paranoid state versus just being attuned and intuitive, and how powerful that is, not just for recognizing who the killer is, but who might be a threat, but who isn't okay. And just how that, again, that coexistence, that co-regulation, being so much more fundamental than just stress management. And I think it's really important to emphasize that the level of commitment Simon gives to this is really important to the commitment that comes from the people. It's just complete, genuine, authentic. Like if someone else said it and they didn't believe it, it would sound so lame. But like, there's such a beautiful commitment to the story of what we're doing. When you're giving it, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, there's really some deep love for it. And like, I really pour it all in, and then not take myself so seriously, and like was working also a lot with your material over the last 1.5 years of relaxing, and like cringe or like feeling social expectations is also some kind of tension.
Yeah.
And I learned to let go more and more of that, and not be so self-conscious about, and like also play with this, like to use myself as a role model, and also like by to help the participants by experiencing me, that allows something in them
Yes.
to experience it themselves, and that
Yes.
feeds into each other,
Yes.
and then builds on each other. And I think that's basically what this is also about, like about
Yeah.
those upward spirals,
Yeah.
but not just individually, but like what comes more and more to my mind, and what I also said to the participants at the end, that like, okay, this whole ecosystem of practices approach is like, it's not about like having rigid routines and not about doing something perfect, but it's really about like, yeah, nurturing tenderly a garden and seeing seeds to whatever is needed in your life right now. And there's no one size fits all approach,
Yeah.
and in different times in your life different things will be needed.
Yeah.
And when you have a wide variety, kind of like a buffet or banquet of options to choose from, you can kind of like adapt much more easily to different life circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's sometimes you go to seminars and you want to learn like this special technique, or like, but like, or like this method or this game, but like they all work like in, yeah, they all work together synergetically, and you can take some games out of this context and do them somewhere else and they could not work at all.
Yeah.
Or like also some other exercises, you
Yeah.
can totally, yeah, yeah, it's also the combination and like the connections people make.
Yeah.
And those are like, I think, the real important stuff, where it sometimes even doesn't matter what you do, it's more how you do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, to facilitate some really fundamental human experiences. And yeah, how do you notice that like economy of practices is working? It's like when it's affecting people in your circle.
Yeah.
And also when those start to do things and connect on themselves, and you see them getting better.
Yeah.
And that's lovely to also see over like the years, or like different events this years of the people who come again and again, like how their lives change.
Yeah.
Without like being a coach and being like, you have to do step X and then Y and then Z, but like throwing seeds and maybe giving some hints and some questions and some experiences, and like being open and seeing how it unfolds. You got a beautiful poem to that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a poem by John O'Donoghue called Fluent that, oh my God, I find it really a powerful poem. So it's, I would love to live as the river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding. And like it's, yeah, a river just follows the land. It follows certain laws or whatever of the world in how it works. Like it's not, yeah. I think what you're touching on with the ecosystem of practices is just so many unintended benefits. And that's like, for me, that's a huge, because it's easy to get really good at push-ups. All you have to do is do more and more push-ups. But what does that do to your shoulders? What does that do to your quality of life? And when you find a cluster of things you can do, and it just keeps generating more and more for you, that it sustains and nourishes you. Like that's really good. For me, that's a really good sign, and it's not something that's arrived at rationally. It's not like A plus B equals C, because the world's just too complex for it.
Way too complex, and I was searching for way too long for perfect routines, perfect methods, perfect exercises.
Yeah.
And then I got at this ecosystem of practices approach, and then like circumstances that are like not really not happening by chance, I think, or I believe in, happened, and like then kind of like this ecosystem of my ecosystem grow, and I first believed in it rational, and then I got to experience it like physically or more embodied, where it's like I also shared with the others that like life feels much more thicker now. Like life feels much more like a smoothie, where there's like this richness in life, where like you can push yourself forward, where you can pull yourself, and you feel life more. instead of it being empty or feeling stuck,
Yeah.
but like more kind of like a monkey in the trees or a fish in water. Kind of like more of that feeling where I notice, okay, it grows, and then I see people connecting outside of the seminar and like having peers who have like some play thoughts also, or some meaning thoughts. That's powerful for me. Like that's also like the reason I do it. Like
Yeah.
it's like to see people connecting outside of this, like really people crying who haven't cried for years, like people laughing their ass off. People, we also talk about like singing and dancing, for example, that it's often kind of like gate kept, like we believe this belongs just to musicians.
Yeah.
Like dancing just belongs to professional dancers. I can't dance, I
Yeah.
can't sing.
Yeah.
But like when you still dance and sing, you collect kind of like undeniable proof, like okay, I'm doing it, and like it's more about the process of doing it, less the
Yeah.
result.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, like nobody of us will be professional dancer or singer. Most of us probably don't want to. So why not just find joy in it
Yeah.
and give a fuck about what others think?
Yeah. And like again, to kind of reiterate that or support it, we just watched people get up and stand up and fall down on the ground, and it was captivating, absolutely captivating. The other thing I wanted to add to that smoothie idea is there's a lovely transition from worrying about not getting my training done to excitement about what opportunities do I have, or curiosity about, oh, maybe I can do this. That's a huge sign of robustness. I mean, if you're worrying about getting your supplements in, if you're worried about doing your squats or something every day, is that really adding to a life?
To the quality of your life,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. There comes also like we're spending, I think, a lot of our life talking about things or preparing for things instead of doing the thing. Like, okay, you want to run through the forest, yeah, go run through the forest. Or like, you want to get better at running, you can do like a whole life of exercises to prepare yourself for running.
Yeah.
Will not make you better at running
Uh,
if you don't get started on running.
Yeah, that's a phrase. I don't know who came up with it, but min-maxing. Unless are you sleeping enough? Are you sleeping enough? Are you drinking enough? Are you eating enough? Are you moving enough? Like anything after that, are you connecting enough? Like optimizing what technique you're using is really, that's for later.
And also then like having an experience like, okay, is it now really worth it to get like an hour more of sleep, or like to have an hour more of like sitting at the fire and singing songs and staring at the flames and the stars?
Yeah, because a few of you stayed up late, didn't sleep as much, but felt completely fresh the next morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like things like getting the optimum amount of sleep, of food. I also tend, like at those events, I tend to be far less hungry. I eat very little to it. Some part of it might be related to like the excitement and the adrenaline which comes from facilitating those.
Yeah.
But like you simply don't care so much about it anymore. Like, how much sleep? You need sufficient rest.
Yes.
But like you don't need to make it perfect, and you don't need the perfect diet, and then you just have some chocolate brownies which you captured in a game, and you're fine to go for a few more hours. Like it frees up so much energy.
Yeah. Worry is very tiring.
And when you let people, and what we did there also, like to give them another option of like working from relaxation or working in a non-rushed way, or like moving or like giving things also the time they need without blowing them up, but like just like what is the time that is needed right now, and not like working so much dictated by the clock, using it as a framework and as a help, but not become slaves by it.
Yeah.
It has a really refreshing resting effect on the body, soul, mind.
Yeah.
Where you could also like, we could have do more days. Like it was not
Definitely.
like we smashed them and then like it was enough. Like we could continue. For sure, there's like some time for unstructured play, free play, and integration needed, but you could go on with this. Like it's sustainable.
Yeah, it really felt like the way you managed the time. It really felt timeless. There was a couple of touch points, but you only mentioned what time it was a few times a day. Compared to it's now 30 minutes past 12, blah blah blah. And I think that helped a lot, give a lot of peace to what was happening.
What do you think differentiates Sachen Machen from other kind of multi-day seminars?
So this is my second one. I was teaching last year with you as well, and like even compared to the one last year, this one genuinely felt like an epic. There was all these little stories, like if you think about the Norse or like the Dutch or German mythology, and like those really old stories where it was you'd collect them together to make an epic, and that's the way it felt. Like there was this overarching theme, this overarching process of transformation and experience, but it was these little short stories that were all building in seamlessly together. It was like a huge quest. And for me, that's really what kind of jumps out, is this really immersive, mythical or magical, kind of folk tale quality to what we're doing. And like it's not coming, like there's no pressure to be intellectual about what's happening. It's not to be childlike necessarily, but to experience what's happening instead of to be thinking about what's happening. And that's something I think is unique in Sachen Machen, is that kind of fairy tale or magical quality that you embody so well that it just pulls other people into it.
I really felt it the same this time. Like this was kind of like when you speak from a craftsmanship perspective. This was a masterpiece. Like there,
chef's kiss.
Nothing to add. Like close to nothing I would do differently. And it just unfolded. Like, and I also I had ideas and plans. I was also not sure in the beginning of how energized I come there. But I just told myself like I pour everything in and switched into the mode. And kind of kept giving and unfolding, and we had ideas, but it basically unfolded even for us. And to go with that and like challenge people, but not like demand too much from them. And believing in them. Just so much. Like we had people saying like they haven't danced in months, years, decades, kind of. And like on the first day, after half an hour, we had them dancing. And we had them like people who never roughhoused before, like an hour into their roughhouse.
And laughing
and enjoying
and smiling,
it. Like, there comes also like this aspect of joy in there. That joy is so connecting and creating those upward spiral and connections and how you want to go on. And then you also like at the end we always do this kind of closing ceremony where it's like really important. What I learned a lot about this year from also the wilderness training I did, and also like a book I read, The Art of Gathering, like how important it is like to guide through good beginnings and good endings also. Because if you let endings just happen, first of all they become endless and unfinished. And what my goal is like to make it a really round ending, because you will always find more things to say, but when does it feel round, kind of? And then you mentioned something really beautiful, which fed into this like epic and mythology, because like there were a lot of tears and like people really touched and raw at the end, like and like to appreciate and like be aware of like, okay, this is the ending, and you said like, yeah, that's the breaking of the fellowship.
Yeah.
To have like a Lord of the Rings analogy.
Yeah. Which happens at the end of the very first book, The Fellowship of the Ring. And then after that, people go on their own missions. Frodo and Sam continue to Mordor. Gandalf takes on the Balrog, comes back. The hobbits are kidnapped. The guys go after them. All this, like a retreat. A retreat is just the beginning of something. It's just the first piece of a huge journey that maybe people get to come back together again at the end of the journey with their tales. And what do they make of that fellowship time?
Since we set people off and like appreciate, not appreciate is the wrong word, but like recognize, okay, there is grief and pain to like come out of those experiences again, to come to your daily life, and you've experienced so much. Like you've laid in the grass, you've roughhoused, you've cried together, you've laughed together, you've sang together, and like, and then you come back and people are asking how was it, and you can't put it into words. Like it must be experienced.
You had to be there.
Like you can't imagine how it is to be chased by the leopard and how it is blind, and like you can't imagine like how it is to sneak through the forest and sit together there.
Watch people like foxes.
Yeah. So and it's always amazing that there's this like Aristotle saying of this like, you don't step into the same river twice because you have changed, and I think rivers change, but you also never step in the same Sachen Machen twice.
Yeah.
Because when you come and you allow yourself to be open and to be touched, it will do something with you. And it's nice to come there the first time. That's like often like a big opening.
Yeah.
But like the real power also comes when people do it on their own also, but also when they come again to deepen it.
Yeah.
Like when you have played a game, the first time it's often where you make an experience the first time, for example, like, oh, I'm not that fragile as I think I am, or like you're not as fragile as I think you would be.
Yeah.
If I come there again, I can kind of detect far more nuances.
Yes.
And colors and shades.
Yeah.
That's the first time it's not possible. It's just like, but if you do it again and again, it's kind of like gets much more mapped.
Yeah. But it's endless.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. Thanks for doing this together.